God is moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Giving the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Welcome to Young People Nation. This is session 2 on bully prevention and kids who have a problem with bullying. And again, we are joined by Miss Santita Danju and Miss Tanisha Williams, both awesome educators and counselors in our school system. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, in this session, we're going to talk about how to recognize a kid being bullied. We had a situation with our youngest child. We didn't realize that that was a situation until I got a call at work. Now the way it ended up happening, she just got fed up. Mm-hmm. And so of course we tried to have a sit down with the parents, and parents wouldn't come in. Mm-hmm. So, I had to introduce them to Dad.
Yep, the big guns.
And so I ain't have to say nothing else.
Yeah.
So and we handled it safely. You understand? We did not tell her, you beat her up. Mm-hmm. You handle your business. Yeah. I know we're old enough to be our parents, but that's what we were told. But we know you can't do that now because children, young adults, people carry armor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what is the body expression of a child being bullied or being a bully?
So children who are being bullied, it kind of varies. Because just like you mentioned, like you didn't know what was going on. There are some kids who hide it because not necessarily for fear of not a fear of their parents. They just kind of don't want to put that concern or that worry. And so and there are a lot of kids who internalize a lot of things, and they may feel as if, well, what did I do something to really cause this to be, and no kid ever does anything. There's nothing that anybody can do that warrants somebody to be to bullying them. So there are some kids who are withdrawn. They'll again, their whole attitude will change. They'll from being lively to being depressed or having a lot of anxiety. Kids who bully, you may never know until you get that phone call.
Mm.
And sometimes the kid may not even know they're being bullied.
Yeah.
I have a personal example with my daughter. Very quiet. She's very quiet naturally. But I didn't find out until like 2 years ago that her best friend was bullying her. And she didn't tell me because she didn't know. And the young lady would tell her things like, well, if you talk to this person, you're not going to be in the group anymore. Or if you don't allow me to have this, then I'm not going to talk to you today. Like different things like that. She's, this is when she was in elementary school. And so she saw this young lady as her friend. So all of that she was doing to her, she didn't consider it as a bad thing or bad enough to share it with me. Yeah. And so she was very emotional during that time. And when I look back on it and I go, yeah, she would cry about every little thing. It was just a lot of emotion coming out of her during that time. And sometimes they can express that something's wrong at school by just being very emotional, whether that's extreme anger or extreme sadness.
I know I felt that as we were going through the same thing with our kids, and our kids were church kids, and they always were told turn the other cheek. pray about it, and everything will be all right, and just to have a positive attitude that God would take care of it. But God didn't take care of it, and all of a sudden, you got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the biggest things that we don't look at. The church influence, always be good, always think the best. God will handle it, or you pray about it. But when those things don't happen, that's when kids change.
Just when you say that, and that's something that yes, you should always be kind to people. Mm-hmm. But my version or my definition of being kind, and I tell kids this as well. I can be kind to you and not bother you. Mm-hmm. And I also try to give kids their voice, allow them to have their voice, and we really have to be very careful when we tell kids to turn the other cheek. Like, I can turn the other, which you should turn the other cheek, but when you're turning, you need to turn to an adult.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Turn to an adult so that adult can be that advocate for you. Because I always say that, God can do more to that person than you can. So, like, if God handles it, you won't go to jail.
Right.
However, that's true. However, if I'm telling this teacher, the consequence that child is going to face is going to be a whole lot worse, because that teacher now knows what is going on. That teacher will handle it in an appropriate manner, and my hands are clean.
Very
so
good.
allow God to use the people in your life.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's
All
wisdom.
right.
That's,
All right.
that's wisdom.
Yeah.
That's wisdom.
Yeah.
Because our daughter was like your daughter. She wasn't the type. She wasn't a follower.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Right.
And she was not a follower. Even if, but nevertheless, we didn't even define it at that time as bullying. But when she began to open up and tell us,
Yes.
it wasn't just that situation.
Mm-hmm.
It was a situation that happened in the classroom. And so we were like, oh my goodness, And so, but immediately we took action as her parents.
Right.
And dealt with that thing, because now with her, she's an internal person.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
However, when she go there, it's not good. Okay? So we didn't want her to do that.
Yes.
Okay? Because at that point she was fed up. That's it.
Yeah.
And so that's where in these times we don't want our children to be like, that's it. And
Yes.
and I want to say, even with some of these times where we've seen children bring guns and all this and shootings and all these things that are happening, something was going on with that child
Yes.
that felt it was okay to come in there and kill all the kids.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that, we tell our students, the first time it happens, tell us. Because in that way we can, make a parent phone call. Say, okay, this is what happened. I talked to, how I handle it is, if it is reported to me, I talk to the student, say, hey, what happened? Talk to both students. I get both sides of the story. Then I make a parent phone call to both parents. And I say, hey, this has been reported. Your child is doing this to this other child. I can't release the child as the victim's name to a parent. I can't release the bully's name to the parent, but I will tell them, when you get home, they can give you all the information. I just can't release it to you. And then after that, and I also tell them, okay, you get one time. You get one time with me. You get a phone conference, a phone call. I call your parents. That's it. The next time it happens, it goes to our assistant principal. We are zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance for bullying at our school. So the first time it happens, and that's why, and it also helps us with be able to document, because the more documentation we have, and I do a presentation with our kids every year on bullying with our 6th graders about bullying, and I tell them, like, okay, there is a progression of consequences. The first one is a phone call and a meeting with me. The second time, you're going to the AP. The third time, the consequences get worse and worse. And I said, what we don't want to happen is for you to no longer be a student in our building. And I'm talking about the person who was doing the bullying.
Yes.
Because you will get sent to a tribunal.
That's good. But that's good.
Yeah.
But, but most times after we have that initial phone call to that parent, I can't remember any time where we've had the same situation with the same child. Now, we have had a situation where the child picks on somebody else, but we still we still document all that.
Yes.
But they don't pick on that particular child anymore.
Yes.
So-
And that's parents being present.
Yes.
That's
exactly.
and that's what's so needed now.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, parents got to be present because once they come into the situation, it changes the whole attitude. It changes the whole climate to a positive way that they can reinforce not only where it's home, but to conduct the behavior at school too.
You know, during our lunch the other day, we was talking about Mean Girls
Yes.
and cyberbullying. Let's talk about those two groups.
So Mean Girls, a lot of people have seen the movie Mean Girls. I have not seen the movie yet.
Let make two of us.
I'm experiencing. I'm in a school system, so I have up close and personal Mean Girls.
Okay.
I know which one.
It's a good movie. You need to watch it.
Yeah.
That's on my to-do list. But Mean Girls, it's when I term Mean Girls is social isolation, and it's kind of similar to what you were talking about with the experience that your daughter had. That's a classic Mean Girl with trying to tell somebody, well, you can't, if you talk to this person, well, what they'll do is they'll target one child. And there'll be a group of them. It's like, okay, well, nobody talk to her because she doesn't fit into our group or our clique. Or she made me mad, so we're not going to talk to her. Nobody sits at lunch table with her. Nobody be her friend. And so that's that whole Mean Girl concept. And they will do stuff, and because being, girls are social, and they want to be accepted. And so when you have that, someone who is cutting off the one thing that a lot of our young girls they thrive for and they live for, that acceptance and that having friends. Once you cut that off, then everything kind of goes south. At least for that one child.
Right.
You know, that's really come a long way because I remember when I was in school, they always passed the little notes to each other or something like that. But now you got your electronic computers and all like that. You even have a space on the computer where they can hide the icon when negative stuff comes. And you got to be a computer whiz even though it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cyberbullying. Social media it's a good tool to have. And I always tell kids, use your powers for good and not evil. So, but social media is one thing that gets a lot of kids in trouble because they're very reactionary. They don't really stop and think and process like, okay, if I post this, what is going to be the outcome? And I always tell them, like, what you post does not go away because if Santita posts something about me and I snapshot it or screenshot it, and Miss Perry, you screenshot it and you send it to me, it's still out there.
Yes.
No matter if her parents said, take it down.
Yes.
She took it down, but now you're sharing it with me. I'm sharing it with 12 other people. And that also kind of plays into that social isolation. We're not going to be her friend because she was talking bad about me. And then if it comes into our school building, we tell parents, you have the option of pressing charges. Because cyberbullying is also, again, zero tolerance.
I see what that is. It moves it from the school onto the law system.
Yes.
And you actually could have a felony from that. And that'll follow you all your career.
Yes.
And you can't get rid of it. It'll be there for years. Every time you go get a job, it's going to pop up.
I mean, but not even, but also along with the legal aspect of it, you also have to be careful of what you post because we've seen in the past, over the course of several years, where you had a young person posting something derogatory about a specific group or a specific person, and then it resurfacing. I think Chrissy Teigen was one of the ones. I think she was mean to someone. She kind of was saying some mean and negative things on social media a while back, and then it resurfaced and it came back, and she wound up having to shut down her whole social media account because of it. So you always have to be careful because nothing ever goes away. And if it comes back, it could be detrimental to not only like college applications, getting into certain programs.
And I just feel like it's so important to educate your kids on this stuff. Like, I always bring it back to the parent. And as a parent, I'm constantly watching what my kids are doing. My daughter doesn't have social media. She's in middle school. She doesn't have social media. I'm not trying to say everyone should do things the way I do things, but my son, he has social media, and I'm his friend on social media. And I watch what he's doing, and I'm constantly talking to him about, how to treat people. I mean, keeping that open communication so that you can, get an understanding of how your kids are thinking and what they're doing online, because I feel like it's part of the parent's role. Even though they are old enough to have a cell phone, there's still some, visibleness that you need to have in your child's life.
Yes.
Bring back the flip phones.
Oh boy.
Are there care groups for these kids dealing with these behaviors?
In the school system, we normally, I'm sure that there probably are, but
there's different clubs in school. Like I teach theater, so I have the drama club, and one of the things that I look for when I'm trying to recruit members is kids who feel like who feel like they don't have a place. And so I invite them, and it kind of gives them a group of people to kind of hang out with and to find something in common with. It gives them somewhere to go after school and feel like they belong. So I feel like all the clubs or extracurricular, like sports and things, it really helps those kids, and they're really needed in education for those kids who feel like they don't have a place. So I feel like
That's
those
good.
groups can also be seen as an outlet for those kids who are suffering from bullying.
there is there are several programs that are out there and available that some schools have adopted. There was one I cannot remember the sources of strength, and that is a very good program, because the key to the program is it was trying to prevent. It was more about suicide prevention. But the key to that program was making all students feel safe and having a trusted adult, or finding a trusted adult in their life.
I see right now that teachers are wearing so many hats. They need to be paid for each one of them.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Well, parents, I hope you are listening to those resources, okay? Also, we have the website pacer.org for anti-bullying. We also have the website stopbullying.gov. October is National Bully Prevention Month, and the color is orange. So we have some things out there that can help our young people and the school system and the community. Any closing remarks?
First, just remember this is Young People Nation, and there is always hope.
Always hope. Thank you, ladies, and we'll see you in the next session.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross. He the number one prospect. He the top boss. I was broke, I was empty. He the one that paid the cost. Really thought that I was cool. There was nothing like the savior. Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what he gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going, keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by his love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.